Hi guys, welcome back. I'm here on the Corrado again. As usual, there's something else to fix. So this time, the radiator started to leak, and not in the two normal places that like the in or out of the two hoses, but the expansion joint. So I'm going to show you what happened. It's happened before when I was doing a Mark 1 Golf. The expansion nipple broke off. It helps bleed off air, and if the level comes up, it just fills it back into the expansion bottle. It snapped off, and I tried and didn't have a new radiator, couldn't get one, so I fixed it myself. I'm going to show you the fix and see how well it worked. So I'll show you real quick. So here we have the Mark 1 Golf radiator, and you can buy these little nylon fittings. This is the one I didn't use because it was too big at this side and of course too small at that one. So it's the in-between size, so that's what this one here is. So I got a few of them just to check out. My idea was drill a small hole, tap it in, and use a big fitting, but if you can see between the two of them, if I can line it up, focus, it'll focus there in a sec. Yeah, it's just too big. Maybe if I do that, I can show that it's just too big. So what I did was cleaned it off with an angle grinder, just the nipple that snapped off, cut it back flush, then drilled straight down. I think it's a 6mm hole. That's instant gasket maker. So the nipple, unlike this one, that's small on one side and big on the other, it's the same side on both sides, so the same bars and same diameter bars. Tapped in with a hammer, and the hole is 6mm, this is 6mm, and the bars that are on it are probably about 7mm. So by tapping it in, it's a really tight fit, and I use a big load of instant gasket maker with the idea is if there is any tiny fracture or tiny holes or even a slight gap, or if the pressure built up, the instant gas maker would hopefully take up the gap. I hope it works. So even if you look in from this side, you can't really see where it ends up because it's so far up this side, and the hole is down here where the radiator here connection goes in, so you can't even see if it is and if it isn't a good job. It's fairly deep, the resin cast. Right, so this is resin cast, it's not plastic. So it's like they got loads and loads of little tiny bits of rubber or plastic or whatever they were using and put into a mold with resin in it. So it's stronger than plastic. I don't really know if that is true, but it's meant to be. You can kind of see little chunks have broken off over time, which kind of like is an indicator that the radiator probably has come to the end of its life. It's probably bad. So this is the one out of my Mark 1 Golf, or my Rabbit if you're in America, and I upgraded to a Mark 2 radiator. I think it was like, I don't know, 1 or 2 centimeters, like an inch longer. So I ended up just using a Mark 2 radiator instead. So I've slightly better cooling capacity, and it was the only one that I had here in the garage. Used it, and that was about a year ago, so I've run an old radiator. I did this by chance just to see if it would work, and now that I know that it did work, I've since done it to my own Corrado. So I'll show you that now in a second. So here we are with the Corrado. That's the bar filling, and if we see in there, just here, if I move the hose, you can, if I can focus the camera, that's it there. You can see the Jubilee clip in front of it, and this big load of gas maker. So it's in the car, it's done, it's finished, it doesn't leak. I've dried all the side, all the way down here. There's no leaks. The reservoir over there is totally full. Still no leaks. I've run the engine up temperature, still no leaks. And the thing is though, if you're 200 miles away from home and it fails. That's what I'm kind of worried about. So like the idea is, it does work, but if you get enough cycles of heat, it's only nylon. Will it break down? Will the instant gasket maker, is it, I don't know whether it's designed for, I know it's designed for heat, but is it designed for heat and pressure? Like, so will the water, the antifreeze coolant that's in the water, and will it dissolve the instant gasket maker, or will it make a bad connection? Will the resin plastic and the nylon, will they expand at different rates, and will the instant gasket maker be able to take up the difference? And you know, I just didn't know. So I put up on Facebook and asked a lot of people, and everyone says, don't use these, use nylon, or not nylon, a brass fitting with, instead of a bar fitting at the end, with a threaded fitting, and then just tap the radiator down and put that into it. And I had these. I didn't want to go out and buy more stuff, and I don't know, like, I'm still not convinced even the brass would do, because like the brass and the plastic are still going to expand at different rates, so you probably could still end up with leaks, and that's hammered in, where like the other one would be like threaded in, and you can't over tighten it, because if you over tightened it, if it was threaded and you over tighten it, you could break the thread. That's it, there you go. You could break the thread and you'd still be at the same problem. So by hammering it in, at least if it's in, it's in, and there's a big load of instant gas maker on it. What I was thinking about afterwards was, because it's kind of a resin fit, maybe I should mix up a little bit of resin and pour it, and just like splattered it over, and then tapped it in, so the resin would actually cure hard, so there'd be no way like any little bit of water could get past. So what I actually ended up doing was, I put up on Facebook and asked people, what should I do? And I showed them what I did and said, look, I'm not saying this is the fix, I'm asking, is it a fix? You think it'll work? And some people had like very positive reactions, like, go for it, like, you know, what's the harm? And I was like, if you're 150 miles away stranded because your radiator's leaking, maybe you're better off just to buy a new radiator. Checked eBay, and they're, I think it's like second-hand Corrado radiators, because the pipes have to be on this side and they can't be on that side. So it's very hard to find. I couldn't reuse a Mark III radiator because they're different again. The Mark III, obviously Volkswagen figured this out, that these things snap off, or the original ones snap off. So they actually have it built either into the pipe or into the piece that goes into the engine. So that's where the bleeding pill is now. So what I said, look, I'm not spending 90 euros or 80 euros or whatever they were at the time on a second-hand radiator. Does anyone else have any ideas? And people said, well, this one guy, I remember, I can't remember who you are, but if you're watching it, thanks very much. He said, but they're not that expensive. They're, I don't know, 20 or 30 euros. I was like, what are you on about? No way, because they're way more expensive. I've checked. And he said, no, he sent me a link, and these guys here called Autodoc, they have a live chat, so you can chat to them on the website, and they're based in both England and Germany, or else they're just based in Germany, but they have two websites. One is in sterling and one is in euros. So I'm not really quite sure what it is, but I think it took, I'm going to say 2 weeks to arrive, and to arrive from anywhere in the world to Ireland, if it's in the EU, that's good going. Like, I was expecting it to take a month, because I'm kind of used to waiting on things, and it arrived really fast. I didn't say like next day delivery or anything. I just like, bog standard delivery, pay as little as possible for postage. I'm not in a rush. And that was about a month ago. So just well, I wasn't in a rush because it's still sitting in the box. So that's what today's video is about. Yeah, very nice people to deal with. I think it was Anthony was in the live chat. I can't remember who you are. I'm really bad at names. But yep, so all I had to do was take a measurement this way, total height, and from center to center, or like there's two little pins that drop down and take the measurement in between them, and that's how they work out your radiator length. And I typed in Corrado, 5 of them came up of different sizes. There's a VR6 one, a G6, the 16 valves, and I assume like what happened is people that said I want one and say give us the measurements and I'll make it to order, and then people are maybe making custom ones or something like that, and so they have weird custom sizes and they have probably like direct replacements. So I found out anyway, I think it was near Black Friday, so I got like €2 or €3 off. So €17 for the radiator and €20 delivered. And I think there was maybe tax on top of that. So it came to, I think, €47 with at like €50. So just say all in, €50 for a radiator delivered to your door, brand new. I thought, yep, good deal. So I didn't want this. I think cost me like €1 or 50 cents or 20 cents or whatever it was. So yeah, it's a good deal, bit more expensive, but I'm gonna end up with a new radiator. And the other thing was, probably you'll see when I take out the radiator, some of the fins, you could see that there was coolant and stuff like dried onto it, and I'm not really sure whether the radiator is in good condition or not. So this way, I'm just gonna have a new radiator. So I'll show you the new radiator. I've never done an unboxing video, so this is kind of like an unboxing video, only with way worse light. Okay, so I'm probably not doing the company any favors, but that's it there, upside down, auto dock. And I've already opened it, so it's not a real unboxing video. So it would help if I could actually open it. There we go. So that's my brand new radiator. I'm trying to light it back around. Yeah, I'm not like a videographer, or like I'm not like Mighty Car Mods or anything like this. So my videos are going to be kind of crap, like handheld ones, but that's what it is. So that's the 2 pins. So from here to here, and if you can get them, if you know the measurements of them, the thickness, the height, which side the water pipes are coming out of, and the nipple, you can find it on their website. Very easy to use website, just scroll down and find it, buy it, and get it posted. And it's PayPal, so like I'm always wary about buying stuff online. I buy an awful lot of shit online, but I'm always wary about what you buy. And especially like, using new companies that you're not really like familiar with. And I did ask a few people on Facebook, has anyone actually used this website? And not very many people did, so I'll try to leave the link in the description. But yeah, they said like you pay for what you get. So if you wanted these in aluminium, I think they're like 100 and something. And if you didn't care like me, they were 50 or whatever the price of the radiator came out at in the end. I think it was like, yeah, €17 plus tax and postage and all the other stuff. I'm delighted with it, so this is me going to install it. So I'll catch you every so often when I get so far and do the next bit. So I suppose like the very start is take off the grill and just keep going down and all the nuts and bolts. I've had this off already, so these are brilliant if they're new, and if they're anyway rusted, they are a nightmare to do. So it just seems to be that the bolt just wants to like just get rusted and snap off. So one snapped and one just about came out, and so I managed to get them out already. I've already taken the radiator out, fixed it, put it back in, then kind of realised, well, if I drive the car and I'm 100, 200 miles away from home, if you have to get towed, if you have to go off to a breaker's yard, if you have to do something to fix the radiator, you're going to pay more than €50, and you're still not going to have a perfect working radiator. Where this way is just replace it, job done. You're not going to be worrying about it anymore. So that's the way I look at it. So let's go. Okay, so we now have the radiator out. You can see here this kind of grime. You can see like old coolant, and obviously like it's had a hard life of dead flies and other things hitting it. And that there is my fix. And even when I was taking it out, I felt it wasn't as solid. You could feel it flexing a bit. Whether it would make any difference long term, I don't know. If you watch the time lapse, if I put it in, that is actually how fast I took this radiator out. The first time I did it, I think it must have taken me nearly an hour because everything was seized. So that bolt there has unfortunately sheared inside. That one there, the plastic is actually snapped. So these are the plastic. There's little shields. You're not going to be able to see it, but there's two little shields that sit either side like that, and it kind of guides the air. The only way the air can get actually through the grill is it has to go through the grill and then through the radiator and out. Yeah, so this is my new radiator. So it does have the holes. So there's 4 holes on this side, there for like the 2 fins either side, and then there's 4 holes at the back which hold on the fan. The other thing that doesn't come with the radiator is there's a little bung just there, and that's your temperature sensor. So when it gets hot enough, it turns on the fan. When it gets cool enough, it turns it back off again. Don't mind that, that's only just a bit of water just after running down. And that's the nipple. So that's what I've replaced. There's a little bit of a bar just there on the side of it, so that should hold on. Well, there's actually 1.5 little bits of a bar that'll hold on the expansion pipe. Yeah, like if I look at the 2 of them, I don't know whether it'll be visible on camera, but it does feel like a lighter plastic than the new one, and the other one does feel like a heavier duty, more robust kind of this kind of like plastic resin. I don't know what's actually in it, but this one is just pure plastic, and it's so much lighter. I know like there's no water obviously inside it, but or a big fan holding onto the side of it, but I hope it's decent enough. Like, I'm not really planning on driving the car as an everyday car, more of a Sunday or weekend cruiser. Yeah, thanks. Right, let's get on to the next part. Right, so I have the radiator off and slight change of plan. This is actually the bottom and at the top, but you can see how it's just literally just falling apart. The metal's gone, so there's another bit of break on hand. Yeah, it's just completely rotten. So what do you do? So thankfully I have a second radiator. The radiator that this car came out of was in a crash, so the radiator is bent. There's a big crack right up through the center of the radiator, but the fan is still good. And this piece here is a half circle, so that actually holds, I think it's part of your radiator pipe, I think, in. And obviously they broke exactly in the exact same place on both cars, so it's obviously very cheap or commonplace for them to break. So anyway, this one is good. Turn it up. This will also be the bottom, and yeah, the steel a little bit corroded, like just there, and there's a little bit of sharpness, but it's 100 times better, and it's only a matter of now just putting in the 4 bolts, and I'll have the new radiator fan and cowlant now attached to the new radiator, I'm nearly certain the fan motor does work. If it doesn't work, again, it's only a matter of doing the bolts like here, I think one there and one there, and you just take the whole fan off, swap them around, because I know that one does work. Yeah, okay, next up. Okay, so there we have it. Grill on, radiator on, the cowlant fan at the back. There's two Canon direction ports left and right. It's all wired up. Yeah, I think the next thing is just to fill it with water and then start it. So, you know what they say, like, blood, sweat and tears? So I'm currently sweating, that's why I've my hat off. I'm currently bleeding. After I might have a little bit cry, so blood, sweat and tears are actually in this car. So, that's the radiator, I think all fixed. So, I'm going to fill it with coolant and then start and see how it goes.